Rich, victory down here this afternoon. Your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, just really happy with the response after last week at York. We questioned their application and attitude, and um, it can't be backed up. And they've shown when we get things right how hard we are to overcome and beat. And it was nip and tuck at one point, but we managed, to repel them. We had a couple of sets, 4 or 5 sets to defend on our line, and we go down the other end of the field and bag a try and just put us a little bit, puts that comfort lead in there for us, and a couple of penalties to put the game away due to the time and the clock. And just really happy for them, because you do sometimes get it wrong as a player, and being there and done it, but they've managed to turn it round and turn up with the right attitude. But it's about consistency now. It's about backing that up against Barra and making sure this week we get everything right leading into that game.
Only having the one session since that York loss, it just shows how kind of impressive that response is today.
Yeah, give them a bit of time to have a think about their own performance and their preparation leading into that game. We spoke about it on the Wednesday, and we had a really good session, a quality session, and got things right. Everyone knew their job, understood their role, and went out there and implemented it today.
You mentioned that the defence today in that first half, that right at the end they hauled them up twice on the line, and in the second half it feels like there were more than 20 tackles that they had to get off back to back.
Yeah, it's great to see that desperation, and sometimes we don't have that online. And they had a couple of back-to-back sets, and we kept turning them away. And the one that they scored was a pretty soft one in the end. Because they do shape up really well and ask some questions to your defensive line, and I thought we answered them questions. And just that little sloppy one off, not taking the player to ground, a quick play of the ball, and a little lead line close to our middles, and we don't deal with it. But we areas to get better in moving forward. Again, Barra, big team, they love them type of plays, so we're going to have to be good in and around them areas.
When we went to Sheffield a couple months ago, maybe a challenging afternoon for Gebby. Today were brilliant, weren't it?
Yeah, look, Gebby's one of them. When he turns up and everything goes right for him, he's unplayable. But we've got to make sure he's like that week in, week out, and that's the challenge for us as coaches and for him as a player.
His second try obviously came straight after when Sheffield had those repeat sets in our 10. It shows how kind of how alert he was to be ready and waiting to go and do it.
Yeah, look, I thought it was we came back against the grain, tested their honesty on the inside, and obviously they had a few players that switched off, which gave us that opportunity, and we took it. And we always know against teams like Sheffield, and even like the Widnes game, we didn't manage to get the result, but it's about taking opportunities, and we took ours when we got them.
We obviously don't want to keep going back to that York game. It was kind of night and day today, wasn't
it? Yeah, God, look, we couldn't dwell on it, which was for us. If we'd have had a bit longer, we could have dwelled on it a bit more and gone into a little bit more depth of what happened. But I think it was just the game came really at the right time for us, a derby. We haven't beat him in a fair few years now, and we could just focus on us making sure we're right for this game, and we did that, and they turned up with the right mindset.
A great occasion winning any derby, but for Tyler as well, finally back out after so long.
Yeah, great to see him. He probably got more minutes than what we planned. We lost Knowlesy in the warm-up, which changed things. We went down to 2 middles on the bench, so he had to play a little bit more, which was a bit nervy about, but he came through it with flying colours, and yeah, great to see him out there.
That derby day, when you mentioned it, feeling like it's been a long time coming. I've seen it's 11 years. It's some feat now, isn't it?
God, yeah, 11 years, and we've been in some really close games with him, and it's just nice to come on the other side and on the other end of it and get a good result against them. For us, again, puts us back in the mix and up climbing that ladder. And for us, it's about consistency now in making sure that we perform like that for the next couple of weeks now before we have another break.
Like you mentioned there, obviously it's great having these responses, but now we want to kind of kick on and so that we don't need to have these responses.
Yeah, that's it. But rugby's it's a strange game, and especially with part-time players, you don't know what type of week they've had, during the day. If it's been a real tough one, and the energy levels have been, aren't great. But by the looks of it, they all had a light week and prepared well for this, this game.
The fans again getting us over the line late on a long trip to Barra next weekend. It'd be good to see someone.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic to see them all down there. We usually get a nice couple of buses go down, get behind the team. They've been fantastic all season. It's a bit frustrating at the moment. We've been up and down, so fingers crossed, we can get some consistency in what we're doing and hopefully go on a nice little run.